Welcome to the Primo's Musings podcast.
All right. Good evening, Amit. Again, how are you?
Yep,
All
we're back
right.
at it again.
All right. We're back at it again. We did the Super Bowl one, but for those cricket fans out there, there's a huge tournament that's coming up. The ICC Champions Trophy is making a long-awaited return in 2025. This is the ninth edition of the uh, prestigious one-day tournament. I know last year, 2023, we had the World Cup ODI in India, but this one is going to be co-hosted I think, by Pakistan and United Arab Emirates. I think the only reason being that India was not going to go play to Pakistan. I think the last time, I think Pakistan was the victor over India in 2017. So that's the historical context. I mean, it was discontinued. It debuted in 1998, evolved into a tournament regularly, but then after 27, I read that to streamline other ICC events, they couldn't really hold it. So right now this is a structure we have, and then we can talk about each and every group. So 8 teams right now divided into Group A, where we have Pakistan, India, New Zealand, and Bangladesh in Group A, and in Group B we have Australia, England, South Africa, and Afghanistan, which will compete in a round robin format. Each team is going to play 3 group matches, and top two goes to the semifinals on March 4th in Dubai and March 5th in Lahore. And the final will be in Lahore on the 9th. But if India is there, it could be in Dubai. So that's where we are. India is already, let's quickly talk about the chances for India, and then no Bumrah. So wanted to hear your thoughts there. And then we can start talking about in each group, who's going to be moving on to the semifinals.
I mean, thank for was it 2023 World Cup? I think,
Yep.
right? Yeah, so I don't think many countries have played a lot of ODIs after that World Cup. So this is a slowly dying format of the game, I feel. 50 overs, right? So, India looked very strong in that World Cup too. It's only in the finals that they kind of choked. No reason to not back India. I mean, I like their chances. There are other teams also that are good, but I like their chances. They had a pretty good series against England, and I'm assuming these are going to be subcontinental pitches, right? So might be similar type of conditions. I have not read anything about how the UAE conditions will differ at this time of the year. No clue. So I like the composition of our team that we fielded lately. Obviously, not having Bumrah will be a big loss, but look at the lineup. Rohit Sharma with Jaiswal could pop for any one of them, right, if needed. So that's a good backup, right? Then you have Kohli. Then you have Shreyas Iyer looking very solid at 4. I think he
Mhm.
deserves to be in the spot. I think KL Rahul is still to me a little bit iffy. Probably one
I
iffy
think you're going
series.
to have Punt too. Punt is there.
Punt. Yeah, so it's like him or Punt, right? Like so that's 5. Hardik is a solid 6. Jaddu is a solid 7. Aksar is a solid 8. And then you have someone like Arshdeep 9, probably Harshit Rana 10, and Kuldeep, right? Kuldeep or
Right.
Varun
Yeah.
11.
And Washington, you have Washington Sundar also in the lineup.
I think you'll get probably 2 out of those 3
Right.
left-handers, right? And I think Jadeja definitely will be in there. I mean, there's not
Yeah,
that much of
absolutely.
Jadeja's career left. And I think Aksar has proven himself to be better both with the bat and the ball than Washington Sundar,
I
right?
agree. And especially on the pitches here, I think he's probably a better fit. Obviously, you have Harshit Rana and then you have Shami, but Shami is still coming off. He didn't really look good
Yeah.
against England, but that could be because he's coming back from an
Yeah, he's just
injury.
coming back. And look, I mean, experience counts in these things as well, right? So who knows? I mean, I would like to see a little bit more depth at the fast bowling. I don't know who else is even in there, like in the squad. I didn't check, but I mean, this is not a bad squad because you have technically people batting right down to number 8, which most of other countries have been doing for a while,
Mhm.
right? So it's good to see that, and also the reason I like this is you've got 3 spinners and 3 fast bowlers as your bowling options. It's good to have 6 legit options. You know, probably Hardik Pandya is not going to bowl 10 overs, and if one of the spinners is getting hammered too, then they don't have to bowl 10 overs, right? So it's good to have that flexibility because you remember in our old days Tendulkar could bowl 3-4 overs, Sehwag could bowl, Ganguly could bowl, right? Maybe I'm missing someone, but Yuvraj bowled, right? And I don't think these were the top five choices. I don't remember if he went in as banking on
Mhm.
Yuvraj being the fifth bowler. So there was a lot of inbuilt flexibility in the side. Now, in this version of our thing, we haven't had that. So now we are back to that kind of, I feel. So it's a good thing.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Pakistan right now, they have a very good team too. I mean, when I look at Rizwan and Babar Azam, and then they have the bowling attack of Shaheen Shah Afridi and then Haris Rauf as well, and
I
Naseem
think
Shah.
their bowling has been suspect of late. They're getting hammered, man.
Yeah, they've been suspect, but I mean, the thing is that they're going to be playing at home for the most part, except the
Oh, Don't
India.
don't forget Fakar Zaman. I think he's
Yes,
on fire and he's a very attacking player.
that's true. That's true.
He's the
In
one
this
who scored
format,
against India, right, in 2017, and we won the game.
yeah, that's true. So, and then again, the other, to me, I think that I would say even in Group A, you have Bangladesh, but I do think that New Zealand would be a very good.
Mm.
I would call them a dark horse. In this, at least in this particular group,
Mhm.
they actually they're already there, so they've already had some practice. Interestingly, Satner is the captain, and then he was the one who destroyed India in the Test series in India. But I think they have all the other. They have Conway, they have Daryl
Williams.
Mitchell, and they have Rachin Ravindra, and all these guys, and Kane Williamson is still there as well. But I definitely think New Zealand does play well in these events. They
Mhm.
could be a dark horse. Not much. I mean, Bangladesh is a good team, but I do
Yeah,
think
it'll be a
that they
shocker
are.
if they make it. Yeah,
I do think so. I think your picks for who is going to make it in the Group A.
I mean, I have to go for India. Okay, I think those three are very evenly matched teams. I agree. Bangladesh might be a notch below. Now it's only one game per, right? So
Yeah.
play each other only once. That actually increases the chance of an upset, right? Um, but right now, I would pick India and Pakistan.
Yeah. Yeah. And in the Group B, you have Australia, England, South Africa, which has actually been playing really well lately. And then you have Afghanistan, which I think to me they would be the dark horse. But let's quickly talk about Australia because Australia is now without, they don't have Stark and they don't have Cummins.
And they don't have Hazelwood either.
Yes, true. So it's been captained by Steve Smith. They still have Travis Head and Nathan Ellis and
Yeah, but the bowling is going to be quite
oh yeah,
inexperienced. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. I mean, they're going to have like Adam Zampa and some of those guys there. So I don't see them. They still have. I don't think even Josh Hazelwood is. I think he's out too. I think he's out too. Yeah. So for Australia, if there is anything, their batting attack is good. So they may just rely on their batting attack to score big runs and
Hmm.
see if they can.
No,
You know,
yeah. And one thing we've all learned is never to count out the Aussies.
never.
I,
I never count
I,
out Australians ever.
I do think though. I mean, among the four teams, I like South Africa the best among those four, and
Yeah.
I think England is suffering right now. England is hurting. England has been hurting in these formats for a while now. I mean, they didn't have a great T20 World Cup either.
Hmm.
I think they made the semis in the ODI World Cup.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I agree with you on South Africa. I think they are the best team. I think they won the inaugural, and I haven't won anything after that. But they have Marco Jansen, Klaassen. They got everybody out there, and then you got Rabada as well. And I think they are a good team. So, and then Kemba Bavuma is their.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the captain. I think, but I would say in that Group B, I agree with you. South Africa and Australia could sneak in, and again, that's where
Right.
Australia
I
is
think
so
it's one of
dangerous.
England and Australia. They're both hurting a bit. Afghanistan obviously has a chance.
Absolutely. I actually think that Afghanistan could finish ahead of England.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong, but
I mean, England on paper, they have all the players. I mean, they have
yes,
Salt and what's his name?
Butler.
Get to open, and
Yep,
they both can be devastating. And then they have they've Butler, they've Joe Root, very steady.
and
They're
Livingston.
really Livingston. They're very attacking players. Harry Brook. I mean, on paper, I mean,
They are good.
when Jofra Archer is in form, I mean, he's good. Like She's been bowling
Rashid's
really
been
well,
well. Yeah.
right? So they have.
Yeah.
I don't know why they've not been able to put it together, but if they get hot, then I mean, they have all the talent and all the right players to do it.
True. I think definitely. I think we both think it's going to be India, Pakistan, Group A, and you think it's going to be South Africa, and I'll stay with Australia as
Yeah,
my.
yeah. I think England will turn it around. I know I'm calling an upset there, like not picking Australia, but I think let me put it this way: in either conference, the only thing that would shock me is Bangladesh making it. I think all the remaining seven teams are capable of moving to the next round.
Oh, that's a very good point. I feel the same way too. Maybe I'm not giving England that. I think the six. I would say six teams. I'm not sold on England, and they will probably prove me wrong, but
They have the players to do it. It's a
they
matter
do.
of
I mean, they do
putting
have the
it
players,
together.
and they did just play in India on Indian pitches, so which didn't turn out well for them. And again, India did score a lot of runs, and then they put a lot of pressure. And again,
Mm.
India had to chase in the I think in the second one ODI, I think. And to your point about how they have a very strong lineup, and if they start clicking in the first game, and then their confidence will go up. But I don't feel this England team. I'm not giving them the respect, and but I think that it could be South Africa and Australia in that bracket in Group B, and then India could finish on top, followed by Pakistan, which means semifinals could potentially be Australia and India,
Oh,
and
we're
then
going
South
way
Africa and
too
New
far
Zealand.
out there, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Well, I
mean,
that's
I think we
that's why
should probably do it after the first round. We should do after
I
that.
know. We'll do it, but hopefully India makes it there. I feel. I mean, I know it's again. That's why people are making Super Bowl picks right now, like in the American football. So I think we could start looking ahead too. But let's quickly get to some of the. We talked about the favorites, but your concerns for the Indian team. Rohit did play well. He had 100. Virat had a 50. We always keep on our group chat, we're not big, they've both not been great. We've been down on them, but, Rohit came back. So your thoughts on how the top order is going to
Well,
perform?
I think, yeah, I think for both of them, Rohit and Kohli, this is probably the best format for them to shine, right? They've already bowed out of the T20 World Cup, I mean, the T20 format. And even if they were there, I think India has better options now, right? Like with Abhishek Sharma and, Tilak Verma and others, right?
Yep,
And on the test side, it should be their format, but they've proven again and again that they've just lost it. I don't know if Rohit ever had it. Kohli definitely had it, but he's lost it. So this is their best format where they don't have to like attack every ball like a T20, right? But and on the other hand, they don't have to last and play for like a whole day. There is some hope. I think that I mean obviously Bumrah not being there is a huge setback, huge setback.
absolutely.
So on a bad day, I mean, I can see Arshdeep being taken to the cleaners. If someone new like Arshit Rana comes, he can be taken to the cleaners. Someone who goes after our spinners, right? I actually hope we keep Kuldeep in the side. So I guess the question is, do we have enough wicket, like genuine bowlers who can take wickets, like the equivalent of Rashid that he did against us in the early
Kuldeep.
days?
I would say Kuldeep.
Kuldeep, right?
And I wouldn't, you know what? We've been down on Arshdeep, but you know what? He comes through every
He comes
time.
through. I agree. No, yeah, he's good. I definitely
And
think so.
Harshit Rana is actually not a bad bowler. Actually, he's been bowling
Yeah,
well.
but I agree, but he's new, right?
He's new, yeah. But you know what? Maybe sometimes you just need to get that match experience. I would say match practice. I would say for Shami, he was beaten pretty badly in the England series.
Mhm.
But maybe that's a good thing for him. I think maybe he's still not. I think I was looking at the speeds that he was. His speeds are definitely down. So maybe he's just coming back from the injury, and he could be a bowler that I think even in the World Cup in 2023 he was a pretty big piece for us. So I don't. Um, maybe I think Shami would be a good pick when you talk about like
Right,
who are
but
who are
Bumrah is
good.
someone I agree, but Bumrah is someone other team is scared of, right? Like these other guys, you're not going to like say, okay, just let's see him off. Don't try anything fancy. Like you're not going to
True.
do that, right? So India needs like someone to step up, someone a genuine wicket taker who needs to be a consistent wicket taker. Among the top three wicket takers in the whole tournament, right? Like that kind of performance they'll need, which usually Bumrah does. So I think that's kind of one concern. And the other concern, I mean, it's true for every team, is like this format is not played that often anymore. we've already seen. I mean, I firmly believe that the T20 game has ruined the test playing game of a lot of players worldwide, right?
True.
So, and then there are some sides who will keep like the Joe Roots of the world exclusively for test, right? Like an ODIs, but not T20, right? So maybe that's why their game is kind of relatively unchanged, right? It's like who can adapt to this format the best in spite of not playing it. I mean, I know everyone has played like 4 or 5 ODIs just leading up to this Champions Trophy, but before that, the last game they played was the World Cup, right? Which was 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago. So I think that's that the adaptability. I do think there's enough experience in the Indian side. I mean, Hardik, I think, is going to be a very critical player for them. You know, these are all stalwarts, right? I don't think. I mean, other than Harshit Rana, nobody's a newbie here. These are all veterans. So I guess I'm talking myself into thinking that yes, this could be. They should be able to handle it, but you never know.
I think this is the $1 million question for the Indian side. Which Indian side? Like you said, right? India, traditional 1D ODI, 2023, they were juggernaut. They pretty much breezed through it, including they beat Australia in the first game of the World Cup. And then it just so happened that, everything that had to go wrong went wrong in the final game against Australia. So, but there are some teams like you said, right? You don't write off Australia, India. I think like you said, they've had this practice. I don't know about the other teams, how much practice they've had. England, obviously, I don't know how much. I think Australia did play some leading up to it,
Yeah, and New
but
Zealand, Pakistan, and South Africa just played a tri series, right?
they just played a tri
So
series.
most of them have played it. Maybe that's not as much of a factor. I think in the past, I've always in the post Dhoni era, like till like 2 years ago, I used to always worry about are we aggressive enough, especially in T20. But I think some of it is in ODI as well. I think the tendency was, now don't get me wrong, Dhoni had a lot of success, but one of the things I disagreed with him towards the later part of his career was how he was okay with like playing slow, and he way too conservative in my opinion, right? And they didn't want to lose more than 2 3 wickets, and they were ready to sacrifice runs for that and all that, and then they often lost in the final stages or those kind of stages to like teams that were more aggressive. I think India has fixed that for the past 2 years, like even in the 2023 World Cup cycle. I mean, Rohit Sharma led the way, very aggressive up front, and just the nature. I think that's just the nature of the batsman now. I mean, do you think? Can you imagine Shreyas Iyer if he gets to like 60, 70? Can you imagine him doing that in 100 balls? No. If he gets there, he's going to do it in 60 balls or less, right?
Right.
So I think that's like just one example, but I think there are many people like that, right? So I don't worry about that as much over the last 2 years, whether it's in a T20 format
Hmm.
or the ODI format. So I think that's another thing where I think we've caught up mentality wise as well.
Right. Yeah. I feel that your assessment on how the 20 has changed other formats of the game is accurate. I mean, I think the some of the things that even in ODIs, you did see a lot of technique about it. But I think right now you are scoring close to 350 runs easily. I mean, which is a combination of the format of the game, which has definitely put
Hmm.
these players playing very, very aggressive. I mean, even Rohit was just playing lights out. I don't think Abhishek is being picked for the side this time. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he's there,
At
which kind of
one point, I thought he made this. No, no, he wasn't. No, no, he didn't.
wasn't. Yeah, and the same thing. Even Jaiswal. I think they took. I think they took Varun Chakravarti instead of Jaiswal, which I don't know if it's a right move. I think you
So
probably
Jaiswal is
want
not
to
in the
go.
final squad for Champions
No, he's
Trophy.
not in the final squad. I think it was Varun Chakravarti made it, but I
Okay.
do feel that I think that's a mistake. I think I would rather have rested because you already have Kuldeep, you got Aksar, you got Jadeja, you got Sundar, and then you got Varun Chakravarti.
But
That's like
Varun
five spin.
Chakravarti could be a game changer. I think that's what they might believe. I agree, though. I like a lefty in the front top four, which we don't have right now.
Right.
So I like a lefty in there.
And Abhishek actually has proven
No, I meant
to be.
Jaiswal. I
Oh,
mean Jaiswal.
Jaiswal. Okay, but, I
I
mean,
think with
you're
Abhishek Sharma, I mean, he is very aggressive. I think that's more of a T20 thing, and I mean, Jaiswal is new to ODI as well. So I guess there's a rookie factor for both of them, almost rookie factor. But I find Abhishek Sharma, his game is fine for the T20. I think it'd be way too aggressive for ODI. He's going to swing at every ball, and you need your openers to stay and score runs in ODI.
True, that's true. But I think, in the first 6 overs, if you look at it, I think that's a game changer. So, for
Yeah, but
someone
you
like
don't
Abhishek,
need like 60 runs in 6 overs. That's what I'm saying. In T20 you
no,
do, but in this you don't.
I do think that. But you know what? But the way the game is now being played,
Hmm.
these players are so aggressive, even in the 50 format of the game, the ODI format of the game, in the first 6 overs, they are scoring close to 50 to 60 runs. And that really puts pressure on the
I agree,
opposing
but
team.
then when if that happens at the loss of 2 wickets, then it's a different ball game. Now
That's a different.
you've got 8 wickets to last 42, 44 overs, which is a very different dynamic than if it's only 14 overs that they have to last.
And at your point, the middle overs becomes much more.
Right.
You're going to be scoring at 3 and 4 a clip,
Right.
and that will
I think the
reduce
wickets
the
obviously matter more, right, in ODIs.
right.
So so I think Jaiswal's got a solid defense. I mean, even in tests when he plays, he's generally a little bit cautious to begin with, gets settled, and then hits,
Yeah,
and then he's got all
I
shots.
think he should have been there. I feel that he should have been there instead of KL Rahul because you're already going with Rishabh Pant.
Are they? I mean, he didn't play any of the ODIs.
No, Pant didn't play any of the ODI. That's what really surprised me that he's in the squad.
We should go by. I mean, this was not some practice rehearsal. This was literally the only rehearsal that they had. So I would be shocked if if for the first game, the side is going to be any different than what we saw. Maybe like one change here and there, but I don't think there's going to be a wholesale change from this side. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to see Jaiswal suddenly open when he didn't for the last 5 matches.
true. I feel that it's going to be very interesting. When you look at the opening, I think it could be Rohit and you think it could be Rahul as the
No,
openers.
Gill, right? I mean, why would
Gill.
they
Oh,
change
sorry. Yeah,
anything?
Gill.
My
Could be
question
Gill.
is, why
Yes.
would
Yeah,
they
he's the
change
vice captain
anything
too.
from what already happened over the
Yeah.
last 5 games?
And then you'll have then you have Kohli coming in, and then the rest of them
Yeah,
will
Kohli,
follow.
Shreyas Iyer 4. Then 5 is, depending on left-right combo stage of the match, it could be Akshar, it could be Rahul. 6 is
Correct.
Hardik, 7 is Jadeja, right? Like something like that.
That's it. That's pretty much it. And then you have I think you would definitely go with Kuldeep, like you said, Kuldeep, and then Harshit Rana, and then Arshdeep or somebody like
Something
that.
like that.
Yeah, one of them could be draw. I think right. One of them could be sitting down, Arshdeep or between. So within the three pacers, you're going to have yeah. But like you said, right, you have Hardik Pandya, you have Jadeja from a bowling standpoint, and you have some Aksar and Kuldeep. So you have like seven bowlers easily. You can rotate. You don't have to go 10 overs each. Yeah, that's true. So let's see. I mean, it's going to happen in the next. I think it's going to start on Wednesday. And let's see.
And India's match is on
Um,
Thursday, right? I think.
India matches on Thursday. Yes, correct.
I mean, it's not a bad timing for you. It's 4 a.m., which is a little bit doable than 1 a.m. for me, man. It's like impossible to watch it.
Well, I think the good thing is with 4 a.m. You have to go to work at 7 a.m. So that's the downside of it. But 1 a.m. you can probably finish the first.
Nah,
You can,
I'm not gonna sleep till
no.
sleep at 4. No, I'll probably wake up at 5:36 and watch the
Mhm.
second innings. Right, wake up at 5 or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
mean,
But I think it's going to
I'll
be
get a
interesting.
solid 3 hours before work begins, so I might
Absolutely. Yeah.
actually get like the whole game. Not whole, most of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can have.
So let's see if it comes to, how exciting this will get. Like you said, this is like thrown in the middle of it because there's right after this, I think we go straight into the IPL.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where a lot of the drama gets in. But I don't know if you watched this one. There is a Netflix series on the India-Pakistan rivalry.
Yet I saw the promotion for.
Oh, it was, I just managed to finish it. And I didn't realize that, it's been a long time that in the second IPL, you had players like Shoaib Akhtar playing in the IPL
Oh, really?
alongside Indian players. So when you watch I thought it was very well made. When they got players from both sides,
Okay.
I thought it was very well made overall. I thought I really enjoyed the three episode series, and you had Shoaib Akhtar, obviously you had Ramiz Raja, you had Wasim Akram, you had Sehwag and Ganguly, and a lot of those guys. So it was I thought they did a good job with that. Plus, like I said, that's what I said, like the IPL, the fact that they were there, and then I think Cargill. I think that Cargill or the other, yeah, that changed everything. Yeah, that changed the dynamic. So, all right, let's hope that this is a good tournament, and hopefully India is on the right side of it. Unlike the last World Cup, they are coming off a T20 championship, so maybe can they ride that luck into this Champions Trophy? Remains to be seen. So,
Sounds good.
all right,
Alrighty.
thanks, Amit. Thanks again. Good
Yeah.
night.
Thank you for listening. Primo will be back soon.